Yo, it's FoxTrot. We're watching the new Alba and Preach video. I got clickbaited. I don't even know what it's about. It's about some lady, Karen, who wants coworkers to give up vacation times or something. But I mostly just saw the big entitlement thing in all caps, so I wanted to see what we're getting here.
No, you do not get priority because you chose to have kids.
Okay, if you have not already seen that video and followed the comment thread, please go do this right now. So I used to work at this place, and I had moved across state to
None of us did that. I'm glad that we all collectively just ignored that request.
work at this place. And I worked with this woman, let's call her Karen, who had 2 kids. And I also just want to mention that until this incident, me and her had gotten along perfectly fine. So that year, I knew that I wanted to go home for like the week or so of Christmas break. I wanted to see my family, I was homesick, and I put in to leave for that week like months in advance, literally months. And I had also sent my boss like multiple emails throughout the months just to remind him that this was happening. So it's the week before the break, and I am so excited. I've already packed, like my family's expecting me, I have friends who are expecting me.
This feels like there shouldn't be a twist in this story. There shouldn't be a
Expecting
twist.
me. So the week before, my boss calls me into his office, let's call him Bob, and he's like, hey, Evie, listen, like, I know you were planning to take off for vacation, but I talked to Karen, and she decided that she really wants to take her kids to Disney World over the break.
Oh, that would piss me off. That would piss me off. If you asked months in advance, dude.
And I was like, and he was like, I was just really hoping that you could find it in your heart
Poor
to
Bob.
like let her take your week so she can spend some time with her children. And he also has kids, so he was like totally on her side about it.
Poor
And I
Bob.
was like, you know what, Bob? I did what you said. I've searched my heart, and it turns out that there is nothing in my heart that's going to make me willing to give her my week. No, but for real though, I was like, Bob, I literally put in for this like months in advance. Like, I have people, my family's expecting me.
You know, Bob just didn't want to deal with it. You know, Bob was just sad. You know, Bob was just like, damn it. I have to go ask Karen. I have to go ask this other girl. And I'm going to be honest. I feel like this girl doesn't seem particularly easy to deal with. Like any girl, like I respect it. Don't get me wrong. The fact that she has her stuff together to figure out that she wants to go on this trip, that she emails her manager several times over the course of the few months leading up to it, that's all amazing. But that is not an easygoing personality. This is a high maintenance individual. Like, you know, Bob was just sweaty palms. He's like, shit, I'm stuck between a Karen and a Sharon. I'm in trouble. Like, this girl, it's funny because I think I'm going to agree with her. Unless there's something significantly different, I think I'm going to agree with this girl because she asked months in advance. Why should she give it up? If the other girl wanted to spend some time with her kids, she should have put in months in advance too. So I don't think that she should have to give up her time. But I also don't think that she is easygoing at all. At all. I think it's really funny when you get this weird like arms ranks amongst high maintenance women to call each other Karen, even though they kind of all fit the definition, even if on the macro, even if they don't fit the definition in the specific circumstances.
And he's like, I know. He was like, I was just really hoping that you would just be willing to give it to her so she could spend time with her kids. I was
He's
like,
really saying, I just hoping you would give it to her so I didn't have to deal with her.
she even put in for this? And he's like, no, she literally talked to me about it this morning. 48
That's on her.
hours.
There's some things when in the work environment, in the 9 to 5 environment, that it boggles the mind. Remember, I was working for a phone company, right? Selling phones in a store. And it's crazy how we would get 2 15-minute breaks and lunch, right? But the people that were smoking could go out and smoke every time there was a break. Let me go for a break. And the manager was like, yeah. You know what I did? I bought a pack of smoke. And I said, let me go smoke. But you don't smoke. And I was like, I do now.
Restaurant I worked at did that. There was a call center I worked at back in the day that did that. It sucked. But then I would just take the time on the toilet. So, like, I couldn't complain because I was not the best employee either, if I'm going to be honest, as far as my productivity went. Because I would just, like, bring my phone to the bathroom and I would take several smoke break equivalent times a day. But, yeah.
Just to have
it's such
the
a
same
weird
privilege
rule.
as the motherfucker.
It's such a weird rule because, like, you wouldn't be allowed to go recreationally do other drugs besides nicotine on the job. And not only are you allowed to recreationally do a drug on the job, you're specifically given time to go off and do that on your employer's dime. It's just weird as hell to think about, like, I don't know, like smoking pot or doing heroin or something like that. I guess the closest thing might be, we could argue those would make you do your job worse, and nicotine doesn't really. I don't know. But I guess if you're thinking about it all the time, if you were given like a coffee break, maybe that would be the closest thing.
It's weird.
Caffeine break.
That they have extra breaks. Like I can't go on break, but they got extra break because they smoke. It's like if I was working in an environment and be like, yo, I'm going to go on a cocaine break. It's a drug at the end of the day.
It's weird. Coke might be a good one. Because maybe that would make people do a better job.
Allow them to take a break and I can't. That's weird. There's some stuff like that where, kids before anything else. It's like, nah, man, she goes through the process. That's the reason why we have those rules. So that things like that could be fair. But no, Karen over here can just, I got kids. Yeah, but you shouldn't have done it before that. What do you want me to do?
Usually I want to sign up on the side of the parents, but yeah, I agree 100%. I think the only exception would be if there's something in your life that you didn't expect and couldn't predict, like a family member dying. Then maybe you make exceptions for not going through the process like you should have done. But this lady decided 48 hours beforehand. That's on her. But there are just some people in this world that they want everybody to move around them. They don't give a single damn thought to anybody else's predicament or situation, and they want the whole world to open up and acquiesce to any single little demand that they have.
But what do you want me to do? Give it to you? I don't have to give it to you. Whenever your employer tells you, I hope that you would find it in your heart, that means you ain't got to do shit.
Pay me.
Hopefully you find it in your heart to let both of us go on break. How about that?
Yeah!
If this is such a matter of the heart, sir, your job can take a little bit of financial hit. You can't find it in your heart.
You better, if you're going to be sassy like this, though, you better know how valuable you are to the company. Because if you're good and you're hard to replace, you can get away with so much of this. But if you're not that good and you can be replaced by here's a good rule of thumb. If your job could reasonably be done by a 16-year-old that's in high school, if they got rid of the child labor laws, do not get sassy like this, because then you might be in trouble depending on the labor market you're in. Know your labor market. Labor market depends how sassy you can be.
The both of us on vacation.
Find it in your heart to find that out.
Yeah.
Pay me off.
And you better not guilt trip her, okay?
They're going to. Spoiler alert, I bet.
She already did. The minute you say, find it in your heart, that makes you a not good person if you don't find it in your heart. It means you didn't find it in your heart, or you didn't have
and this lady's going to be like, sorry, kids, this bitch at work wouldn't give me the time. And the real thing is sorry, kids, your mother is irresponsible and doesn't think longer into the future than 48 hours. Sorry, kids. Your mother has the forward thinking of a possum. That's your real problem. The kids, they might be in trouble. We'll have to know what that's like.
Listen, but she got kids. So there's a process to do. Follow that. That's and those rules are there in place so that everybody in the workplace is equal. You doing
the have
that?
Kids thing is supposed to be the kids got hurt at school, or this lady needs to leave because her kids got hurt, or they're in trouble at school. It's not supposed to be to get nice, fun things like that. It's just supposed to be if you have responsibilities that are necessary for you to perform because you're a parent, not special privileges. The only privileges you're supposed to get at work for being a parent are slightly more understanding or accommodating if your role as parent requires you to do something to actually take care of your kid during working time hours. Take him to the doctor.
With kids not equal to the rest. That's the handicap.
Who decided that your children are more important than my family?
Who
decided? But you know what? Forget my family. Maybe I just want to take a trip because I feel like going somewhere. What do I got to do with my flights? Lose that money? What do I got to do?
What if she was just going to Australia?
Even if I can, let's say I can move it. What if I don't want to? What if I need this vacation?
You don't have to.
What if I
shouldn't?
Want to? What if
you should punish their bad decision making, and the lady's not going to get the right lesson because she shouldn't have done this anyways. If she's guilt tripping them for a thing that she decided to do spontaneously in 48 hours, she's not going to get the lesson. But the lesson should be, I didn't get to do the thing I wanted to do. Let me have some self-reflection. Maybe I should have decided to do this earlier and planned for it so it can happen.
A whole last few months in order to get this time off, and I've been looking forward to it. I got to put off my own happiness.
Cause and effect.
No. Hey, you talk about, well, think about the kids. Bitch, I'm a kid. I'm someone else's kid. True. That I'm about to see. What about that heart? Find it in your heart to find it. I'm a kid.
What about my mother?
Works in your company.
She's geriatric.
Man yelling, I'm a kid.
My mama doesn't give a fuck. My mama doesn't give a fuck if I'm a grown ass man, if I pay my taxes, if I got my vaccine, if I were to. I'm a kid. To her,
I was the same way with my mom until I had kids. And that was the only thing that kind of changed stuff a little bit.
I'm a motherfucker, and I'm about to say to
And
my
I'm
mom,
still her baby.
I can't come because Karen and her kid. My mom is gonna be like, fuck that shit. I'm also the kid of someone. I'm the kid of someone else. So find it in your heart for this kid to go see his, so this kid can spend some time with his family. How about that?
You know what's funny? It's like people with kids.
You just know that this lady, you could tell her like, oh no, it's because my mom has dementia or something. And this lady would be like, oh, well then you should still give up the time because your mom won't remember you coming anyways.
I'll say, you'll never understand. You'll never understand. Yeah, don't. Good luck, bitch. Best of luck with whatever I don't understand. That's your problem.
Bro, I just did understand. My mama want to spend some time with her kids too. I do understand. I get that. So the
You don't
fact,
understand what it's like to be like your mom.
shut the fuck up.
You don't understand it. You don't have kids. You don't understand it.
You don't understand. You don't.
That paternal.
Yeah, we
could
could play that all day, and you don't understand what it is to be the kid of my mom. Okay, I'm going.
Everyone is just in this situation. Everyone's just doing mental math to try to figure out which Karen who's the biggest Karen that they don't want to offend. Like the manager's like, oh, this lady with kids, she's the biggest Karen, so I'm going to try to acquiesce to her once. And then he's like, my mom is scarier. I'm going to try to do what she wants me to do.
What are you saying? Are you saying you got to choose?
I haven't said shit. My mom watches this channel. Watch yourself.
All guys do their whole life is just like acquiescing to the biggest Karen.
That's all I'm saying. That's all. Hey,
You're going to spend a lot of energy.
You live in the same city as your mom.
Not anymore, but yeah.
Yeah. You still going?
I'm so.
Yes, they don't need to know.
I don't understand.
I don't care if she lives next door. I'm going.
Christmas,
Yes.
my mom is not even here. She's in Florida.
Okay.
What now? But even if she was here, I'm going. And I'm spending a whole week there.
48 hours. And
There's
I was like,
more?
listen, I'm sorry. Like, it sucks that she's not going to get to take her kids to Disney World, but like, I'm not giving her my week. I'm sorry. And he was like, big, like, dad, disappointed. Like, he was like, oh, okay, well, you're going to have to go out there and you're going to have to tell Karen.
Oh, see, he just didn't want to deal with her.
That's your job, brother.
No.
Manager was just trying to get a Karen on Karen battle. He was just trying to get out of it.
That's your job.
That's your job.
You know this girl's not easy to deal with either. You just know she's not that easy to deal with either. Like, nobody who makes TikTok videos breaking down this stuff, especially that actually has their face in the video, is easy to deal with. Like,
You're bummed out because you don't want to do it. You don't want to do your job.
Yeah, if you're a good manager, don't abdicate your fucking responsibility. She
Oh,
did
my
nothing wrong.
okay, let's be honest though. We all know why. I mean, I wouldn't want to do that. It wouldn't be something I would look forward to.
You want? Oh, that's what
That's
you
why
want
he
to
doesn't wanna
delegate. Is
deal
that
with
what it
it.
is?
This
Is
girl
that
put in a notice literally this morning.
No.
This
no.
morning.
didn't
You
want to
don't
deal
have
with
to
telling
tell
her
her.
no.
Oh, you are.
And you want her? No.
The
you
whole
gotta tell her,
operation.
no. She put a notice. If she wants to go with her kids to Disneyland so bad, why did she plan that bitch out? If it's so important to her, why did she only do that this morning?
Nah,
a
baby.
week out.
Nah.
Nah.
Then you're gonna make me do your job.
No.
Ooh, you foul for this one.
Forget that she can't take her kids to Disney World. You're going to have to tell her. And I was like, okay. I walked right out of his
Yeah, I
office,
do
walked
it.
right up to her desk, and I was like, listen, Karen, I just talked to Bob, and I know he said that you wanted to take your kids and for me to give you my week, but like, I'm sorry, like, I'm just not going to do that. I was like, I'm sure you can take your kids to Disney World at another time that's like scheduled. And she got so mad, you guys. Like, the entitlement was unreal. She was like, you don't understand. I need to spend time with my children. I have children. Like, they need to see their mother. And I was like, Karen, like, I hear you. I was like, but I haven't seen my family in a year. Like, you live with your kids. Like, you see them every day. She was like, you have no idea what it's like. Like, you have no idea how I feel right now. Like, she actually started to cry.
Yeah.
I just don't care. I mean, honestly, I don't care. I don't care how she feels. Like, that sucks. If you feel this strongly, maybe you should have taken time and planned ahead. Maybe you could just schedule time 2 months down the road now, like a responsible human adult. Like, you're supposed to be a parent. A parent is supposed to be the most responsible type of adult is a parent, because you're literally responsible for the lives of two, or I don't know, I think she said she had 2 kids or something, but for the lives of other people. You're supposed to be the most responsible member of society. You can't plan ahead a month, 2 months in advance. You're wild. Just shut up, lady.
I don't care what nobody says. I'm not gonna lie. When women cry, I just start laughing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Your mileage may vary with that advice depending on the situation. I'm just going to be honest with you. Depending on the situation. Sometimes it's the best response. Sometimes, I'm going to be honest. Sometimes when my wife cries, it kind of makes me horny. A little bit. I'm going to be honest. I don't laugh. I'm not empathetic. But it does change my emotional state.
That shit is so manipulative to me and so childish. I stop feeling sympathy for women's tears like 95% of the time. I see somebody cry for something frivolous, I'm like, go ahead, bitch. It's entertainment for me. Use that shit as lube later when I took one out.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Your tears, my memories.
Whenever I see that happen, then I do 4 notes. Doom, 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 doom. You know, every soap opera I have that note. Doom, 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 doom.
Nah, bro, that shit, I don't see too many women use that shit manipulatively. And I say women because that is a womanly thing to do.
Especially like in entry-level jobs or shift work style jobs. Like if you're hired into a company to work on the phones, or you're hired and you're working in, I don't know, retail, or you're hired and you're working in a restaurant. It's so dramatic. It's so dramatic. And you always have somebody that works at their job that wants to call off for the stupidest reasons. The dumbest reasons.
I've never seen a man try to cry, okay? And I will say this.
I did have a guy who cried. I did have that happen a couple times. Now, if you said a straight man who cried, I would agree with you. But I'm just saying, technically, it did happen at my job that a guy did cry
this instant, she's
a couple times.
Incredibly manipulative.
Because he wanted his way.
She knows she is in the wrong. She knows logically, but she don't care because of whatever she got. That's your problem. Nah, that's on you. I don't know what you got going on in your life, but no. That's just no.
And the problem is, though, like, everybody wants to kowtow around people like this because when they are upset, they already have shown that they're not responsible and they are emotionally volatile. And the combination of a colleague that's not responsible and is emotionally volatile will make your working life, which is 8 hours of your day. It's more like 9 or 10 hours of the day for most people. Hell. So that's why everybody's first instinct is to always want to kowtow to these people because they are awful. They're terrible to deal with. They're horrible. And so you're like, okay, everyone doesn't want to deal with having to deal with the amount of vitriol and the amount of problems that they can cause when they're willfully being a jerk when they don't get their way. It's like they're holding everybody hostage socially because everybody knows, like, oh, that person sucks. They're a ticking time bomb. I just don't want them to freak out and direct all that irresponsibility and emotional volatility and towards me. I don't want to. The inconvenience in the short term is grammatically outweighed by the theoretical inconvenience this person will cause to my life once I'm on their shit dar. That's the math everyone's always doing, which sucks. And it's so hard to fire people. You guys would not believe how hard it is to fire a toxic employee most of the time. Like, companies have to damn well make dossiers. I know like 3 people who were comically horrible employees, like to the point that they're texting other members on the team about their supervisor in a group chat, company phone, company messaging system, I think, like talking about the supervisor when he's not there. And you're like, oh, this dumbass isn't here for the day, so for once stuff is going to work correctly. Stuff like that, right? Like, just absolutely childish behavior, crazy behavior. And it took these companies a year of building a case to be able to fire these people because they were so scared of being sued for wrongful termination. They had dossiers just taking note of everything these people were doing and every offense that they were committing against, like, and mistakes and errors in their job, because they weren't good. They were rude to everybody, and they didn't stick to social conventions of being a good team member, a good employee, and they were incompetent, and they still had to take a year of documenting everything just to feel comfortable, just for HR to feel comfortable firing them. It's crazy, guys. You cannot believe it. Like, I don't know what the hell it is, but narcissistic assholes are absolutely coddled for some reason. And throughout, I don't know why. It's just like, normally well-adjusted people don't want to deal with them. Institutions don't want to deal with the legal troubles that they could bring out. So it's like they literally go around and they just intimidate people into treating them in a way and treating them better than normal other well-adjusted pro-social people. It's wild, man.
You a grown
And it
ass
makes sense
woman.
why they do it, because they get away with it so much. I'm gonna shut up and let the video play, but I'm just saying, it pisses me off because it makes sense for them. They're like, yeah, I'm a dick and I get what I want. So why wouldn't they? They don't get punished.
With kids out here losing it because you didn't put any forethought. That's your problem. Don't be trying to make someone else feel guilty while you should cry because you haven't handled
you were
your
dumb.
shit.
You were irresponsible.
Not because she said that's your problem.
Facts.
And the fucked up thing is that whenever that girl that's talking, whenever she's gonna have her report on how she's doing her work,
Disruptive.
her boss is probably gonna be like, well,
Not a team
you
player.
don't really play well with others.
Yeah, you're not a team player.
You're not a team player.
You're not a
Yeah.
team player, nigga.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yo, it's
Get
not
the fuck
just
out
the
of my
tears. It's like, you know, this bitch, if she's this unreasonable, she gonna carry this resentment over. This is something that's gonna last in the workplace.
That's what I was
Because
saying.
She didn't do her due diligence. Now I gotta suffer at work.
Yeah.
No, bro, I got no sympathy for those tears. Cry more. I hope you cry when you get home too, stupid.
She just kept saying, like, you have no idea what it's like to have children. You have no idea what it's like to love like this.
To love
And I was
like
like,
this.
I don't know. I mean, like, I love my parents, like, a lot.
To be
so-
fair, it is different.
She was like,
I'm
you
just
won't
saying.
know unless you experience it. And I was like, you know what, Karen? That's probably true, but I am about to experience this vacation. See you in a week.
That's super petty. Good for you.
I don't even think it's that petty.
Absolutely. Yeah. And she deserves it too.
I just want to know if she actually said it or if she thought that up like 3 weeks later in the shower and that's why she decided to make the TikTok. Because if she thought it up in the moment, that is cold. That's very cold.
Yeah, I ain't mad at it. That's it. We need to normalize that. Nah.
I still feel like this was Karen on Karen violence, even though nothing in this story indicates that this girl was a Karen, right? In this situation, I just know, man. You can just tell. I don't even think Karens are bad all the time. Like but you can just tell, right? You can just tell when there's a high maintenance girl.
Shout outs to her.
That's probably true, but I'm about to experience this vacation.
Yeah,
That's
shout outs to her.
bars.
We need
Bro, I
to-
can just tell. I can just tell.
That's bars.
I'm over it. Listen,
Like, she is not conflict
just 'cause
averse.
She got tears in her face. We need to cut that shit out.
Oh my days, that's bars. I'm
Yeah,
about to.
you crying because I won't give you my time with my family so you can spend time with yours.
They're
That's why you
stealing.
crying.
They want to
I'm a
steal
bad
your
person
time and your
'cause
joy.
I don't want to give you time with my family so you can spend
That's
time
pretty
with
fucking
yours.
good.
That's why you crying. No, sir.
Freaking good.
You can finish this.
Yeah, he's about to take a cock. All right. I'm going to tell you some parents out there, right? Sometimes your go-to phrase whenever we talk about shit like that and talk about your kids and then like that is like, you can't talk, you ain't got kids. You can't talk, you ain't got kids. Well, guess what? All right? I am not a firefighter. But if I see a fire, I know it's a motherfucking fire. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, there's some things
don't.
like that I can understand, even if I haven't experienced them. Well, you'll never shut the fuck up. I'm not that stupid, okay? So yeah, it's not gonna be maybe to your level, granted, but I can still understand how it feels. And you don't have a special need, you don't have a special past, you're not special. You're a parent, and that's pretty much
You
it.
just have
So,
responsibilities. Being a parent just means you have responsibilities. And usually society at large and people specifically will be understanding if you're doing something that slightly inconveniences them to fulfill those responsibilities. They do, but parents sometimes will try to guilt trip others into giving them special privileges, and that's just bullshit. Like if you don't sign up for special privileges when you become a parent. Like you sign up for responsibilities and taking care of your kid. That's all you're signing up for.
calm the fuck down with that shit. You're not special either because you got kids. Plan your shit and do your thing. Is there anything else? I guess not. Comment, subscribe, and, go check the merch.
FoxTrot out.